I'm Aaron.
I'm Alex.
And we're coming at you. We're two in the booth. Welcome into this week's podcast. It's the podcast after Mother's Day. We've seen pink bats. We've seen pink elbow guards. We've seen pink catcher's equipment.
I have worn a pink umpire's mask this week. I've worn one.
What?
And so, unfortunately,
like full on pink.
There's no pictorial evidence of it, but I did wear it, and it was sublime. So that happened.
You know, I bought some beachfront property in Kansas this week as well.
Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? Oh.
Well, this week we got some good stuff to talk about. There's some good performances to highlight, as well as prepare you for this weekend. Lot of cool stuff coming up. And so let's dive in. Some notable performances. Alex, anybody stand out to you this week?
Well, this is on the wire right now, and I have to say this. I don't know if one of our regular listeners is just a friend of the show. We'll call him Meph Jickdermott. We'll call him that. I don't know if that's his name. But Cade Smith just had back-to-back days on the save front, and he went 1 inning, 14 pitches, 3 Ks, no hits, no runs, back-to-back saves. So that's a meaningful stat for me because he's on my fantasy team and anchors my bullpen. But that's all to say the most notable performance right now, and he kind of faltered there just a couple starts ago. Jacob Misiorowski was a stud this last week.
I thought you were going to go Jose Soriano. Stumbled a little bit.
He did stumble, and he did bounce back a little bit. But Jacob Misiorowski, right now, leader in the clubhouse, 70 Ks so far on the season, and that just comes off his last performance where he went for at least 11 Ks. And let me just see here. 11 Ks against the Yankees. He's done 8 against Washington, 9 against Pittsburgh, 3 earned runs over 3 starts. Just fantastic. And so he's bounced back in a big way. And he's did that 6 innings pitched, 11 Ks. So like he's striking out. Oh, and then he had, 14 pitches at 103 miles an hour?
I saw that.
Greater, which is absolutely electric. And you look at his body build, and you're like, we are looking at Tommy John in the flesh, or we are going to be looking at Tim Lincecum, one or the other, because there's no way a guy with his frame is going to be able to hold up throwing 103 the way he is.
It's a great segue to a guy who's been lighting it up for me. I think we are living in one of the premier ages of baseball because of one Paul Skenes. So Paul Skenes,
Paulie,
in his third season, he's 23 years old. He has started, by my count on baseballreference.com, 64 games in his major league career. So he's still pretty young, he's still getting into it, but he's lifetime career stats. He's 27-15 overall. So I mean, that's not super notable. He plays for the Pirates, so that should give him a pass with the win-loss total.
He's the Felix Hernandez of the 2026 whatever.
Pirates.
But anyway, yeah.
What sticks out to me, his career earned run average, 1.97. Yes, 1.97. The last 2 starts he's had, he's gone 8 innings. He's flirted with a no-hitter in both of those. This last start, no walks, 10 Ks, first Pirate in a long time to go 8 innings, strike out 10, and have no walks. He is just dealing. And you look at someone who's built to pitch, and it's Paul Skenes. I mean, he's got the frame, right? He's got the whole pack that he wears on his shoulder, and warming up before the game, he's torquing his shoulder and kind of working his obliques and his back muscles and shoulders. And he just leans back and carelessly throws 98 and 99. And you're like, my goodness, dude, could he be the next Nolan Ryan? Time will tell.
Will tell. And I absolutely hope you're onto something there because I have a PSA 10 Paul Skenes rookie in a yellow parallel, which would love to see him be the next Nolan Ryan. And so
You
that
could
would
be a very, very rich man.
yeah, no, it's it's more valuable now. It's more valuable now. It's more valuable now. No, he's been fantastic. And again, like talk about a guy like a team that like I don't know, lives and dies by his when he's on the mound, like by his performance. Like he's had 9 starts this year. He's 6-2. He started the year really slow and has just come on like a freight train this last month of the season. And yeah, all indicators is he's going to keep it going because now that we're into the warm summer months in most of the country, usually the pitching improves for just the feel of the ball and everything else for the splinker and whatnot. But there
He
are a
can
couple.
get a grip.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, yeah, super special time because, again, we highlighted it a couple weeks ago, just some massive offensive productivity that's going on in the league. But
Yes,
that,
the Jordan check.
But that has not scrubbed out like elite pitching. And the pitching has been just phenomenal in its own right. And just a couple guys here that just continue to rake. And it's really impressive. Olsen continues, I think, to be the MVP in the National League, and just has 37 RBIs already, 14 home runs, batting .294, just doing work. Jordan Alvarez is producing for a really bad Houston Astros team so far. They have not been great. I thought this is interesting. Who's the hit? Who do you think the hits leader is right now in the clubhouse right now? Just number of hits for the season. Who would you say that is?
Through all of baseball or
through
from
all
one
of
the leagues?
baseball? Through all of baseball.
Gee. CJ Abrams.
CJ Abrams. Nope. See, not CJ Abrams. We're looking at Otto Lopez. Otto Lopez of the
Really?
Miami Marlins batting .337, 55 hits so far this year, 11 doubles. He's striking out a good deal, but again, like somehow finding a way to get it done with the bat, followed by, again, just an all-around performer, MVP candidate in the American League, Shea Langoliers, 52 hits this year, 12 home runs, batting .340, kind of leader in the clubhouse in the American League by way of batting average. But the batting average leader so far at the quarter mile mark of the season is who? And you know him. You
Colt
know him
Keith.
well. Absolutely not. Brandon Marsh. Brandon Marsh is batting .350. Played 38 games so far. Has 48 hits.
My boy.
Yeah, batting .350. So far this year, is the leader in the clubhouse as it relates to qualified batting averages for the batting title. So there you go. Yeah, no, just a lot of good stuff going on. A lot of statistical categories that are just kind of eye popping in some ways. And I don't know, it seems like we're in for a really special summer run for baseball this year. So
special,
yeah.
Absolutely. Special. The other thing I want to highlight, and I mentioned this a couple weeks ago on the podcast, and boy, did this player have an immediate impact. Zach Wheeler has been back with the Phillies now. Since he's been back, their rotation's earned run average has dropped from 5.68 to 3.13.
Wow.
He's delivered several quality starts since he came back, the most notable being the one he threw yesterday, Tuesday, against the Red Sox. He went 7 1/3 and needed 87 pitches. He got through the first 3 frames with 16 pitches. And you're just like, my goodness, like he's not striking out a ton of guys, but he's missing bats. And that's, not the sexiest stat in the world, right? Like we want Misiorowski's to blow up the radar gun, but Zach Wheeler's getting it done, and he's been a stabilizing force in the rotation. Sanchez has pitched better. Nola pitched better. And, we're still trying to get Luzardo and Painter back on the same page. But overall, he's been a stabilizing force in the Phillies rotation and demonstrated, like, really, he's the ace of that staff. Like, he's the one who every fifth day you're like, yep, we have a shot to win this game. And that's pretty significant. The other person I'll mention, we had a Maddox alert last night from the most, probably, I would say, the most underrated pitcher in baseball, Bailey Ober.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Who even knows about Bailey Ober? And yet consistently, he's delivering like quality starts, a pretty decent pitcher for the Twins. And I feel like nobody knows about him. He just flies under the radar up there in Minnesota and does his thing. And the Minnesota Twins are pretty irrelevant overall. And he just, calmly last night just throws out a Maddox, which, just to remind you, our listeners, a Maddox is a complete game shutout where the pitcher throws less than 100 pitches. And in today's environment of ABS and waiting the pitcher out, and it's kind of rare to have a Maddox. And so for Bailey Ober to do that, definitely standout performance. Give some props to him.
Well, speaking of under the radar, two things real quick. One, there's no team hotter in the National League than the Philadelphia Phillies. They're 7-3 in their last 10, and they've made up absolutely zero ground in the NL East, which is just a testament to what the Braves are doing. So way to go.
Yeah.
But I can't say they're the hottest team in Major League Baseball, because that title remains all alone for the Tampa Bay Rays. The Tampa Bay Rays, talk about just put your head down, bring your lunch pail, and go to work every day. They're doing it, because there's absolutely no reason why anyone would be like, yeah, Tampa Bay's like going to be like, they're the best team in the American League. They're right there, best team in baseball. No, they are. And I'm just looking at their roster right now and just what they've been able to do by way of just performance here. And again, like, you think like leader in the clubhouse has around 50 hits for the season. They've got 5 guys that have over 40
burgers
hits
and fries
on their team. They got guys, Junior Caminero's their MVP candidate as far as just extra base power, gonna hit a home run. He's batting pretty solid with his OPS over 800. Chandler Simpson batting over 300, 315. He's,
Johnny DeLuca.
Yeah. It's just like Yandy Diaz, Jonathan Aranda. Like, these are just guys that are like just getting it done consistently. And you're just like, man, how in the world is this? Like, I don't know. They're just playing good team baseball. No one's going to win the MVP on the Tampa Bay Rays, but nonetheless, worthy of note. And again, like Nick Martinez has been a really healthy addition for them as far as starting pitchers go. Shane McClanahan's finally healthy and pitching, and so pitching quality baseball. Steven Matz, 4-1 so far this season with an ERA hovering. They didn't even put ERA in the what in the world? Oh yeah, excuse me. I don't even know. I can't do the math. They don't have the ERA average for him.
I think it's in the 3s, which is solid for him. I mean, this is again Steven Matz.
Steven Matz has been 4-1, 3.8 ERA, 28 Ks. Again, like, this guy's been a journeyman, and he's been a below average journeyman.
Jacob Misiorowski.
Absolutely. So I don't know. Like, congratulations to the Tampa Bay Rays, and with Kevin Cash at the helm, you're like, yeah, this will fade, but you're like, no, I don't think it will. And I think they're just going to continue to play good baseball, and nothing will be better than watching an ALCS in the minor league George Steinbrenner Field downstate. And wouldn't it be great if you had the Yankees playing playoff games in their minor league complex down there in Tampa Bay in the playoffs? That would be a fantastic deal.
And it makes the Rays look brilliant for letting Pete Fairbanks go.
He's on the IL right now, and so
he's on the IL, and he made some comments last week that were pretty notable. The headline, Marlins Pete Fairbanks did not stutter about brutality of getting, quote, dry humped, unquote.
Yeah. That
and,
was
and by that, he does not mean anything off the baseball field. He means the whole warm up and get ready to go in the game, only to not be put into the game.
Yeah. No wild animals were hurt in that comment. So, yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
But yeah, you think about that, and it almost seems like the ode to, hey, please feel sorry for me type scenario, because, like, dude, this is your job. It's like saying, wait, what? You're not going to do your thing, but like, we expect this of you. You've signed up to be a bullpen guy. You could be a starter. You could transition like Clay Holmes, John Smoltz. No, wait, he went the other way. You could go, a number of players who have made the transition from being a bullpen guy to a starting pitcher if you wanted to.
Absolutely.
You're not too old. Make it happen, bruh.
Yeah, no, it is interesting though. It raises an interesting point for me that the shockness or the shock factor of that conversation or that interview, like, all pitchers are on a pitch count of sorts, and how much does the pitch count from the bullpen perspective like affect the overall pitch count? Because you think about it, like, okay, guy comes in out of the bullpen, throws 15 pitches in an inning, okay. But he didn't really throw 15 pitches. He threw 20 pitches probably back in the bullpen, so that's really 35. They kind of talk about like that, what Pete talks about is this ramp up for a bullpen arm of like, yeah, I'm throwing, I'm getting loose or whatever, and you might have to do that 1, 2 times, maybe 3 times in a 9-inning game, depending on how the game's going. And then it's like, okay, now you're really getting cooking. And then it's like, changed our mind here. We're not bringing you into the game.
So here's a thought experiment for you. How would Pete Fairbanks fare under the system of chaos from the Detroit Tigers a couple years back? Like that seems like those two things would not clash very well. You got Mr. I'm going to get as many bullpen guys as I can up and create a system of chaos. And then Pete Fairbanks is over there like, dude, just put me in the game. Like,
well, and that's the thing is like, that's where you're like, maybe he would thrive in that system because chaos is all like, as chaotic as it is for the opposing offense. Chaos is like, it's a structured approach where for 9 innings who exactly is getting what. And it's like you have a different pitcher every inning and a third coming into the game. And so it's like, hey, Pete, you're coming in the 6th inning today. Be ready, and it's like, regardless of what happens, that's probably going to be what takes place. And so anyway, it's just very interesting. I just, I was not familiar with that vernacular.
Me neither.
And it does change the game. I'm trying to think of the layout at Comerica Park. If you were in the left field seats looking into the bullpen and you got to witness that happen in live time, you could have a lot of fun with that particular pitcher. Like, oh man, you just got dry humped. Anyway, what a day that is for us as fans to be able to know that that's what they call it. So,
so amazing. The other parallel to that then is like, to continue that conversation, think of how cushy the closer's job is.
Right.
Which Pete Fairbanks was. So maybe that's kind of his thing. Like, he's acclimating from, I don't even pay attention to the game until the 8th inning, to I could get called in to go in the game at any point. And you're like, man, like if you're a Cade Smith, or if you're a Edwin Diaz, or a Gregory Soto, or like, some other dominant closer, your number's not getting called until the 8th, 9th inning. Not a lot of that going on with those guys. It's more of the middle inning guys, right? Like,
absolutely.
The starter falters, and is Brent Herter getting into the game, or are we going with, the who's who of whatever else the bullpen is going to trot out there? And so that's an interesting thing. The other thing, go ahead, another thought.
No, just the age, I think, of the prima donna closer is like kind of rapidly coming to an end, because like the Tigers presently have like the wasted space of Kenley Jensen being taken up in the bullpen right now, and he can't be used in a chaos sort of system. He only comes in when saves are blowable in the 9th inning, and And it's like, if you're not flexible as far as like your ability to adapt to certain situations or the analytics or whatever, I think increasingly you're going to have a hard time finding employment in Major League Baseball. I think Pete is an interesting case study because I think there was like, it was either like a paternity leave situation or something, but they tried to implement the chaos system and pitched Pete in the first inning, I think against the Yankees earlier this year. And he ended up giving up 4 runs in that first inning. Is the worst outing of the season. And you're like, I think AJ Hinch would say, like, leave the chaos, to the professionals. Don't necessarily, don't dabble in this if you have no idea what you're doing. And so,
which would be ironic coming from him, because a new system that I've seen the Tigers debuting recently is not an opener, but a pre-opener to the opener, which then leads to the bulk guy. And you're just like, here's what we're going to do. We're going to put a guy in the game for the first inning who's going to spot you 3 runs. And then we'll bring our opener in, clear out the last third of your lineup. And then we're going to bring our bulk guy in to face your lineup the second, third, and fourth times. So there.
And my thing is, you're either a starter or you're not. And it's like, if you're a starter, but we want to basically kind of ease you into the game, and we don't actually want you to think you're the starter. Like, again, we live in a world where our like egos are so fragile and our emotional like stability is so fragile. Like, you can't have an honest conversation. Hey, Ty Madden, you're not actually a starter. You're a third inning guy. And what we want you to do is we want you to carry like the 3rd to 7th inning. And again, at some point now the Tigers, their backs against the wall. They have every pitcher in their organization on the IL. I get that it's a messed up situation. However, at some point, it's like, I think we're getting too cute with the analytics, and it has to stop, because it's like, where does it end? Because like, this is like, yeah, no, like so-and-so, like he got a quality start, but he didn't because he pitched the 3rd to the 8th inning. And so it's like, well, that doesn't really count, does it? So
nope, unfortunately not. The there's more conversation to be had on the whole analytics thing as we go, because there were a couple times I saw over the weekend where the analytics said to do such and such, and it blew up in the team's face that did it. And I'm thinking particularly of the team the Dodgers played over the weekend. The Rockies, I think they played, and they brought a lefty in to face Shohei, and that just opened up the floodgates because he got a base hit against him, which is a rare thing for Shohei these days. And then like it just all proceeded to unravel. And the announcer for the Rockies was like, "This is why you don't follow the analytics. You stick with the hot hand. You stick with the arm that's dealing."
Let me tell you,
we've talked about that before, but
let me tell you what analytics can't tell you. Analytics can't tell you, and I've been waiting to have a platform to just bark at this for a minute. With the Tigers had back-to-back games last week in Kansas City where you had Wenzel Perez casually come in on a ground ball single to right field. A single. He let the ball roll under his glove, roll all the way to the wall, and a single turned into a triple. Analytics can't tell you to field your position. On the next day, Bobby Witt Jr. got all the accolades for hitting an inside-the-park home run. He got an inside-the-park home run because he hit a double down the line, and Kerry Carpenter, God rest his soul, is now on the IL because Kerry Carpenter, rather than field the ball, body-checked himself into the wall, hurt his shoulder, and then had to chase the ball down as Bobby Witt had the fastest recorded time around the bases in Major League Baseball history.
He was playing gaga ball with himself.
Analytics doesn't do you a lick of good if you don't have guys that can't make the basic plays.
Yeah.
And I'm so tired of professional people in the world of baseball making excuses. I love Andy Dirks' personality. He's the color guy alongside Jason Benetti, both on the radio and in the broadcast booth. Well, guys, this isn't how this team is built. This team is not built to put the ball in play, and they're not built to like make the crazy defensive plays. And I'm like, Well, if they're not built to like do those sorts of things, it doesn't sound like they're built to play baseball.
Yeah.
So like I'm confused as to what exactly is going on. And this is just a public service announcement. If we can't find one brother to come up and play infield who can make the throw to first base, you want the we're not a betting podcast, we're not a sports betting podcast. You want the guarantee of the century. You find a new infielder for the Tigers. You mortgage your house on a bet that says he's going to commit an error in the game. That will pay 6 ways to Sunday. I promise you. They can't bring up a guy that can throw from shortstop to first base, second base to first base, or third base to first base. And quite frankly, it's alarming that these are professional ball players and they can't do the most basic of things, nor can you ridicule them for being forgettable at their jobs.
Okay,
So,
wow. A
Anyway.
lot of pent-up frustration there. How you Lee?
throwing error in like his second game. Gage
I
Workman,
gotcha.
who hit a home run in his opening day. They gave him a start on the second day at Citi Field, and he like chucked it over the first baseman's head. Make the play. I mean, in a week where we lost Bobby Cox,
Yeah, and Ted Turner.
how would Bobby Cox have handled some of just the abysmal play that we're seeing in various factions of baseball?
Yeah.
I can imagine guys sitting in their locker crying because Bobby Cox with a cigar in his mouth just lit him up one way down the other. So
Yeah, 6 ways to Sunday.
6 ways to Sunday.
It is worth noting his passing.
It is
one of the Mount Rushmore of Braves figures. I mean, he was a fixture in the 90s for us as we were growing up, right? Sauntering out of the dugout, taking the ball from some of the great Braves pitchers, and he was just a fixture in that dugout of all of the great runs the Braves had, the 95 World Series and some of the other runs that they made divisionally. A lot of successes were had because of Bobby Cox. And I know the Braves community in general has this like chip on their shoulder now that they want to do this for Bobby. And, we'll see what happens if they continue this great start that they're off to.
the untouchable. Like he will never be touched. In what category? What statistical
division wins or division crowns?
Major League managerial ejections. Bobby Cox was ejected out of 162 ball games. John McGraw, 121, is the next closest. Nobody will touch Bobby Cox when it comes to managerial ejections, and for that he should he should forever be honored.
He's the Iron Man of managers. You know, Cal Ripken's got the consecutive game streak thing. Bobby Cox has most ejections, and at some point, I think someone like Don Kelly needs to take it upon himself to be like, you know what? I'm going to make a run at getting ejected from 163 games.
Right. The active leader, he's not in baseball now. Bruce Bochy won 81 ejections.
I mean, it's fairly easy to get ejected at this point, right? You just do an ABS and then you run out of the dugout and start arguing, you'll get ejected. Yeah. Easy. Come on, man.
And props to Bruce Bochy because he's been ejected one time for every year of his life. I think he's 81 himself this year, and so he's ejected 81 times. No, 71, excuse me. So never mind.
We got several really great matchups this weekend, just to, segue to looking ahead.
Yeah, we do.
We've got several notable in-town or in-state rivalries.
Is this rivalry? Is this Rivalry Week? Rivalry Weekend?
This weekend is Subway Series, Mets, Yankees. This weekend is Beltway Series, Orioles, Orioles, Nationals.
Well, yeah.
This weekend is Battle for the Keystone State, Pirates, Phillies.
Yeah. This is rivalry. You and I were at this game last year. Last year we were in Philadelphia for the Philadelphia. This is Rivalry Weekend.
Problem is they're in Pittsburgh this weekend.
Well, I know, but this is like we got the Cubs, White Sox, we got the battle for Texas, we've got Brewers, Twins, like
Blue Jays, Tigers.
That's the question. What's the made up rivalry though? We got the Battle of LA. And then we have like the outlier matchup, the fabled rivalry between the Padres and the Mariners. Yes.
You know, Brewers Twins. Oh, what a storied rivalry.
Well, and then I love like Boston, Atlanta. They both used to play in Boston way back when. And so it's like, okay, well, that's too bad. Why can't the Brewers get in on that? Because Milwaukee used to play where the Braves, whatever. Anyway.
Well, and like the Giants should play in New York because they used to be the Brooklyn or the New York Giants.
Yes. This is the weekend where, yes, you have some really intriguing matchups, but it's part of a larger narrative where you're like, Major League Baseball, nobody asked for this, yet we're getting it. And so it's, no, it is rivalry weekend, it looks like. And we got Marlins, Rays, and
it's a great day.
You have the 12 o'clock game on Peacock is Marlins, Rays, and then you play throughout the day, and eventually, that's the thing too. It's rivalry week, and the game of the week, Sunday Night Baseball, Padres, Mariners. Now, mind you, Padres playing good ball, Mariners playing decent ball, but you're like, what rivalry would you actually want to see though in the prime time slot?
D-backs Rockies, totally. The battle for the Midwest or Southwest. The storied rivalry between the Serpents and the Mountains.
Because people would rather see Phillies Pirates, people would rather see Reds Guardians, people would rather see Yankees Mets, people would rather see Rangers Astros. I could rank just about every matchup save for one ahead of Padres Mariners.
Yep. Dodgers Angels. I mean, you would probably, and this speaks to something. You would rather see the Dodgers on Sunday Night Baseball than Padres Mariners, correct? Or is that the matchup you would put behind this one?
At least it's a divisional matchup. D-backs Rocky, at least D-backs Rockies is a divisional matchup.
Oh yeah. True.
So that tends to like that. Like I think Padres Mariners is the worst matchup of the week. Although at the end of the year it could be a World Series preview. Like it could be.
It could be. You're right.
But
Cubs White Sox could be a World Series preview.
I will say this though: Friday night, Apple TV. Cam Schlittler is on the mound for the Yankees, and that brother is just he's a hoss, man. So like I don't I think with everything that's happened now with Tarek Skubal, like I think Cam Schlittler and Paul Skenes, individual awards for Cy Young is about as good as we can ask for. On that note, real quick, how about Scott Boras leaking out that Tarek Skubal had a really, really special procedure done, which is going to reduce his time away, like way, way down, supposedly.
Supposedly. Oh, okay. Supposedly,
like supposable thumbs, just like that. Yeah. No, but I just anytime that man opens his mouth, you just want to like break your television and can't stand him. So
yeah, absolutely. Well,
anyway,
it's going to be a special weekend. You're coming back east.
Yeah.
I don't know that we're going to get a game in together, but we'll be back next week, back in our separate spaces.
What are the chances? What are the chances Sunday afternoon we bail with where we're supposed to be and we just find our way to Citi Field to catch the Yankees?
Oh,
what are the chances? What are the chances?
No,
or
not zero.
Monday, do we skip out on the conference we're supposed to be at and instead, again, find our way Blue Jays Yankees 7:00?
Dude, we're still recording. This isn't off the podcast yet, dude. We got to sign off.
That's true.
I'm Aaron, he's Alex. And until next time, next week, when we're back, like Aaron Judge might have happened to him this weekend, that ball is,
like Kerry Carpenter went into the wall, out of here.